The box was small, red wrapping paper. Silver ribbon, my 4-year-old's name. Written in neat cursive. She tore it open with the same excitement all children have on Christmas morning. I was holding the camera, smiling, filming. Then I saw what was inside. Trash. Literal garbage. Crumpled. Tissues, a crushed soda can, the remnants of something rotten, and a note. Should not have born. I stared at it, the words burning into the back of my skull. My daughter looked at me, confused. Daddy, did Santa forget? I smiled. No, sweetheart. Santa never forgets. Inside, something fractured. Quietly, perfectly. My wife gasped, pretending shock. Her hands trembled. Just enough to look convincing, but her eyes didn't. They were too still, too knowing. That was the moment I understood this wasn't a mistake. It was a message, and I intended to reply. Her parents had hated me since the wedding. Too common, too quiet, too beneath their name. They tolerated me because I made her happy. Or so they thought. When our daughter was born, that happiness turned to something else. Distance, resentment. They never visited, never called. When they did, it was always about money. You should provide better, they said. She deserves more. I thought they were just proud, old, bitter. I excused it all. But that note, that wasn't old bitterness. That was calculated cruelty. I waited for her to say something, to condemn it, to rage for her child. Instead, she folded the paper quietly, tucked it into her pocket, and whispered, "Let's not make a scene today." I watched her hands shake, not from shock, but fear of what I might do. That's when it hit me. She'd known. Maybe she hadn't written it, but she'd known it was coming. And that silence, that obedience was her complicity. I didn't confront anyone. Not her, not them. I played the long game. I started with their finances. Their boutique firm was built on image and illusion. Lavish parties, fake charity work, debts hidden under false names. I knew because I'd helped structure some of those accounts. Years ago, I began tracing transactions. Quietly. A few late-night login, a few forgotten passwords. She never suspected a thing. When she slept, I worked line by line, file by file. They had funneled money through shell companies, laundering donations that never existed. And every trace of it, I documented. Screenshots, PDFs, timestamped logs. By New Year's Eve, I had their empire on a leash. I didn't need violence. I needed timing. So, I waited, smiled, played family, let her parents send polite texts pretending nothing had happened. I mailed them a thank you card. Handwritten. Your gift was unforgettable. They replied with a laughing emoji. January 15th, her father's birthday. Gala, the perfect audience. Politicians, clients, journalists, all dressed in glass smiles and silk lies. I arrived alone. My wife stayed home, claiming a migraine. I didn't argue. When I walked in, he greeted me with false warmth. Good to see you, son. I nodded. I brought a present. I handed him a small USB drive wrapped in gold paper. He laughed. Always mysterious, aren't you? He plugged it into the laptop connected to the main projector, expecting a slideshow or a tribute video. Instead, the screen filled with spreadsheets, wire transfers, forged invoices, fake charities. Silence spread like gas in the room. Then came the audio files. Recordings of his calls, instructing staff to bury the numbers. His wife fainted. He froze. And I just stood They're calm, watching his kingdom collapse in front of his peers. Someone screamed. Cameras flashed. His name turned to ash in real time. I walked out before the sirens arrived. The next morning, she confronted me, eyes red, voice shaking. What did you do? I poured coffee. I sent them a gift. They lost everything. Their house, their company, everything. I looked up slowly. Good. Tears rolled down her cheeks. You ruined them. No, I said they ruined themselves. I just wrapped it nicely. She stared at me as if seeing a stranger. Maybe she was. I handed her the folded note, the same one from our daughter's box. Tell me, I asked softly. Did you know they sent this? Her silence was answer. Enough. I didn't want to believe it, I whispered. So, I made sure they could never do this to her again. Her voice broke. You destroyed my family. I smiled. Faintly. No, I protected mine. They live in a rental apartment now. I heard he drinks. She cries. Their names are gone from every invitation list that mattered. My wife left a year later. Said she couldn't love what I'd become. She was wrong. I didn't become anything. I just stopped pretending to be less than I was. My daughter is 8 now. Bright, fearless. When she asks why her grandparents never visit, I tell her the truth. They sent the wrong gift, I say. She laughs, not understanding. One day, she will. And when she does, she'll know. I never raised her to bow to cruelty. Only to bury it quietly, completely. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World 4. More amazing stories.